Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here, Adam. Thank you for the invitation. And today I will talk about current situation and steel industry of Ukraine, issues and challenges that the industry faces in fourth quarter. Roller coaster is a very right word to explain today's situation. Looking at the averages, this is a record-breaking year for global steel industry, but it ends very alarmingly. The global steel industry slowed sharply this fall, and Ukraine is no exception. In September, steel output fell by almost 9% month to month, and in October by another 6% month to month. And the situation may not improve by the end of the year because Ukrainian companies are experiencing a shortage of coke. The volume of local coke production in September was the lowest since 2017. And the reason is the lack of coal. First of all, local coal. The largest local coal producer had an accident in the end of July and production halved. At the same time, there are difficulties with logistics of imported coal, so it turned out to be impossible to compensate the loss of local supply with import volumes. According to the Ukrcoks Association, difficult situation with coal supplies will remain until the end of the year, and companies now are trying to maintain the October output volumes. All this said that the volume of export supply from Ukraine will be limited by production issues, except for a global slowdown in demand. In September, you see the volume of exports decreased significantly. As for the directions of flat product sales, it should be noted that this year supplies to European Union and Turkey have increased. The strong Turkish market and export duties in Russia have created good supply opportunities to the country. Good demand at traditional markets for Ukrainian companies and high freight rates contributed to the fact that Ukrainian companies refused to supply to Asia and MENA. But now we have seen that economic growth in European Union is slowing down. In Turkey, aggressive central bank policies could create some risks for steel demand. Therefore, it's highly likely that the sales direction will change next year. For example, we could see a return to the MENA market, which we see now as the most promising. Local market in Ukraine is stagnating. Its volumes have been at the level of 4.8 million tons for 5 consecutive years. This year, the segment of long products is growing due to stimulus programs, but at the same time, activity in the industrial sector is declining, and the flat segment is declining also. Economic activity in Ukraine is slowing down in fourth quarter. The forecast of GDP growth has been reduced from 3.8% to 3.1%. So this trend is observed all over the world. Apparent steel consumption in Ukraine for 9 months of this year increased by about 6%. However, by the end of the year, we expect consumption growth will be only 2%. It allows to reach the 2019 level only. The energy crisis and the growth of incidents of COVID-19 are negatively affecting domestic economy and steel demand. Of course, global economy is influenced by high energy prices, and electricity prices in Ukraine have grown significantly by 70% since January and 33% since August. Of course, the situation is not so hard as in European Union, because in Ukraine, the structure of electricity generation differs from European, with a higher share of nuclear and less share of gas generation. Dynamics of gas prices is similar to that in Europe, but gas prices have limited impact on steel industry, as gas costs account for about only 8% of marginal costs of steel production. But the price of coal and supply of coal have a much greater impact, as we said. Ukraine imports over 70% of metallurgical coal consumption, and coal costs account for up to half of all marginal costs. And coal shortages led to loss of about 150,000 tons of crude steel output monthly during this autumn. So we have lowered our production forecast in Ukraine for next year to 21.4 million tons. It's only supply side analysis, but there are great risks of demand shock from high energy prices and inflation. Central banks hope that high inflation has only temporary effect. We also hope so, and of course, I wish all of you the warm winter. Thank you very much for your attention.